All right, let's talk about something that has absolutely changed the game in how we build software, the DevOps revolution. We're going to get into what happens after a developer thinks their code is done, how we actually get that brilliant work into the hands of users, not just once, but over and over again, safely and reliably. So, just picture this. You're a developer, you've been working hard on a new feature, you've tested it on your own machine, everything looks great. So, you commit your code. You're done, right? Well, not even close. This is the moment where the big, scary question hits. The code is written, now what?
Not too long ago, the answer was this terrifyingly long manual checklist. Just imagine one person or a small team having to grab the latest source code, make sure all the right dependencies are installed, run some analysis tools, compile the whole thing, generate the docs, run all the tests, create the final files, and then finally, ship it. And even after all that, you still had to babysit it in production. A single wrong step, one tiny human error, and the whole thing could just fall apart. It was a total recipe for disaster.
So when you look at that long, fragile list of steps where everything has to be perfect, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which of these incredibly important tasks should we really be trusting a person to do by hand every single time?
That's right. The answer is absolutely none of them. The entire goal of a modern software process is to automate every single thing that can possibly be automated. Why? Because that's how you build a system that's repeatable, it's reliable, and it takes human error almost completely out of the equation.
And that brings us to the first huge piece of the puzzle. The first real fix for all this chaos is something called continuous integration, or CI for short. This is really step one on our big journey to total automation.
So, what is continuous integration? Well, the best way to think about it is like a modern assembly line, but for software. See, instead of developers all working in isolation for weeks and then having one giant, scary merge day, they integrate their code into a shared central version. We call it the main line multiple times a day. And here's the real magic. Every single time someone merges their code, an automated process just kicks off. It builds the entire application and runs a whole suite of tests to make sure that the new code didn't just break everything. And the impact of this is just immediate. But hey, don't just take my word for it. As one developer put it, CI lets them find problems before they even make it into the main codebase. You're not letting bugs slip through, stay hidden for months, and then waiting for your users to find them. You're catching mistakes in minutes, not months. It's a total game changer. But here's the thing. CI is an amazing practice, but it's really just one piece of a much, much bigger picture. For it to really work, it has to be part of a larger cultural shift. And that's where we need to zoom out and talk about the philosophy that powers all of this, DevOps. DevOps is so much more than just buying some new tools. It's really a fundamental change in mindset. It's all about breaking down those old traditional walls between the development teams, the folks who write the code, and the operations teams, the folks who have to run and maintain it. By getting them to share philosophies, practices, and tools, the whole organization just gets better and faster at delivering software. It's all about shared ownership. Now, what's really cool is how this connects to Agile. I mean, most of us are familiar with Agile, right? It totally revolutionized the development part of the process, with its focus on small, fast, iterative releases. We can think of DevOps as the natural sequel. It takes all those amazing Agile ideas about speed and feedback and just stretches them all the way to the finish line, right through deployment and into the hands of the user. It completes the picture.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory. A new philosophy, better collaboration. But how do we actually do it? How does this idea become a reality? Well, the answer is by building something we call an end-to-end pipeline.
The DevOps pipeline is the machine that makes the whole philosophy work. It is that software assembly line we talked about, but now it extends all the way from the developer's keyboard to the end user. It's the collection of all the automated processes and tools that let dev and ops teams work together seamlessly to build, test, and deploy code.
And this pipeline really has 4 key stages. It all starts with continuous integration. That's our CI step, where code gets merged and built. Then comes continuous testing, where a battery of automated tests are run. After that, we hit continuous delivery. Now, this is a big one. It means the software is packaged up, fully tested, and is sitting there, ready to be deployed with just the push of a button. And then, for the most advanced teams, there's continuous deployment, where that final button push is also automated. Every single change that passes the tests goes live to users. No human intervention needed.
So you might be thinking, wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
And it is, but is it worth it? Oh, absolutely. The benefits are massive. You're finding issues when they're small and cheap to fix, not huge and expensive. You spend way less time debugging, and you get to avoid those painful manual integration nightmares. And what does that all add up to? You get new features to your customers way faster and with a whole lot more confidence that you're not going to break things.
But for a while, even with all this automation, there was still one really important piece of the puzzle that often got left behind: security. This led to the next big evolution in our story, an approach we call DevSecOps. DevSecOps is built on a really simple but powerful idea. Security is everybody's job. It's not something you can just hand off to a separate team at the end. It's about automating and integrating security checks into every single phase of the lifecycle, from the moment you start designing a feature all the way through to running it in production.
And this slide just shows the difference perfectly. The old way, security was this thing that a separate team tacked on at the very end. They'd come in, find a bunch of problems, and bring everything to a screeching halt. The DevSecOps way is all about shifting left. And all that means is moving security earlier in the process. You build security scans right into the pipeline so developers get instant feedback on vulnerabilities while they're still writing the code.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. We've gone from total manual chaos to automated pipelines to baking in security from the start. What's the ultimate goal here? Why does all of this matter so much? It really all comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful motto. The entire point of this whole revolution, DevOps, DevSecOps, all of it, is to help us deliver better software to our users, to deliver it safer, with quality and security built right in, and to deliver it sooner so we can respond to what people need at an incredible speed.
And so, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. It doesn't matter if you're a developer, an ops person, or just someone curious about how all this tech gets built. Think about your own work. What is the one manual, repetitive, or maybe error-prone bottleneck in your workflow that a little bit of automation could solve? Maybe even starting tomorrow.